So, hello back, guys. Yeah, Diablo 3 again. So, but I'm not playing my warrior anymore. Started playing some monk. Lastly, was leveling him up and stuff like that. So, I kinda started playing Diablo 3 again. Don't know why, but this game has changed quite a bit. You have now monster powers, and yeah, you can pretty much adjust the difficulty of Inferno for yourself. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, they lowered the requirements for everything, and yeah, stuff like that. So I will make something like an infinite Inferno run or something. I will first make Inferno 0 and complete whole run through all the acts, all the yeah, everything pretty much that's in the game, and we'll try to give you a little bit of information about that area and that area. And after I finish 0, I will put it into 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 10. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan here. And I will do this all with this monk over here. Her name is Fender, and yeah, this is pretty much my gear. Or first, I will explain my items, and not my items, my skill setup. So, with this setup, I try to achieve a little bit of survivability, or I'm pretty much with my gear is pretty much focused around survivability and dealing also a little bit of damage. But most of the damage really comes from the setup. I could run a more defensive setup, but I will lose a lot of damage. So let's see. This is my so this is my primary damage skill. Fist of Thunder, the first skill you get, I think. Yeah, there we go. First skill you learn. With a glyph, Thunderclap teleports you, and also deals a little bit of splash damage in addition to the normal damage. So that's really good. So the rest of my build is pretty much focused around dealing a lot of passively damage. So, for example, I'm in the combat, I'm really only using this Fist of Thunder, but the rest of my skill set is designed to do a lot of damage while only using Fist of Thunder. I will explain this in a minute. So mantra, the damage mantra, so with a more damage glyph, just as I said, give you a lot of extra damage, and it's pretty much where all my spirit dump will come from. I will only use this in the combat. Next thing, Breath of Heaven, gives you a nice and a little handy heal, and also increases your damage by 15%. 15%, as I said, passively gives me more damage, and yeah, so that's really great. Sweeping Wind, that's pretty much a must-have right now. Surrounds you with like a cloud or something, and everybody that stands in there gets 20% damage. Every time you land a critical hit, it stacks up, dealing twice as dealing 40% damage. Yeah, 40. Yeah, there we go. And can stack up to 2 times to a total of 60 weapon damage. That's pretty nice. And also with Cyclone, every time I land a critical hit, I will spawn like a little tornado, and it also deals damage. So that's pretty cool and really handy, and gives a lot of damage. And also every time I strike an enemy with every attack, or I think with just primary attack or something, the buff will refresh. So that's also pretty nice. And yeah, this spell is pretty much what most of my damage comes from, but I'm really not using it that much, but I still can get a lot of damage with it. Sanctuary, pretty much straightforward, gives me immunity and increase for free, in my case 4 seconds, because I have the glyph. I will explain you why I use the skill later on in the video. I will show you this. Yeah, I will just explain you why I use the skill. Mystic Ally. That's a skill that not everybody uses. This is pretty uncommon, but I love it because it deals a lot of damage, and also you just need to cast him once, and he will deal a lot of damage during the fight without you doing something. So that's pretty nice. It just gives you 40% damage on a weapon hit, and then also used Air Ally. If you want to, you can also swap this out with Fire, and Earth Ally. But I will explain you why I take Air Ally. Air Ally is pretty much just also has like, it's pretty much a straight up copy from my really character. I'm now realizing. It also has like this ability, like Sweeping Wind around him, without the crit thing, but deals 10% damage, so that's really nice. Deals a lot of AoE damage. This damage, yeah, just passively a lot of damage AoE. You can also use Fire Ally. That's pretty cool against single targets, but I kinda prefer Air Ally over it, because most of the damage you need to deal is AoE, and yeah, that's pretty nice if you are struggling with like elite camps or something. And also, if your gear isn't that good, you can also use Earth Ally. Earth Ally is pretty good as well. It will, yeah, pretty much tank for you. Has like a little taunt ability, so that that an enemy needs to attack this ally instead of you. So that's really nice, and also gives you 10% more health. Also really nice, and yeah, that's pretty much why I use, or pretty much all about Mystic Ally. Passive skills, I still using one with everything. I will explain you why I use this, and I really don't want to use it, but I need to use it once we discussed my gear. Yeah, the passive skills are pretty much all around defensive, because my gear isn't that good, and I'm usually taking a lot of damage, and I'm trying to, avoid as much damage as possible, so I don't get one-shot that often. So yeah, this increases your armor by 50% of your dexterity, pretty nice. And also, this gives you 30% of your crit hit chance is equal to dodge chance. So you get a lot of dodge out of this ability, and you can see I have around 50% of dodge. So that's pretty nice. So let's talk a little bit about gear right now. Let's show you the details first. I explain you why I need to use one with everything. Because this gear was given to me by a friend of mine, and he was pretty much focused around having physical resistance. So one with everything, as most of you probably know, increases your all resist to the highest amount of elemental resist. So you have like this chart, and I can swap this out for you a little bit, or just so you guys can see. He has like 610 physical resistance, but all my other resistance are pretty low. So I need to use, in order to get through the X pretty safe, I need to use the skill, because yeah, I just get a lot less damage with it. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, this is why I need all resist. Or for those of you who are just wondering, why don't you use just all resist? All resist is pretty pretty expensive. He was just, you know, focusing around getting. He hasn't that much gold, and he was pretty much focused around, you know, getting a good gear with this sound amount of gold, and this is pretty much what came out of it. So I'm running 4-piece Eners right now. The good thing about this is you get, of course, set bonies to 130 dexterity, spirit regeneration. Pretty good. The 4-piece Eners, that's pretty much why he was aiming for us. You pretty much reduce the cost of sweeping wind visibility by 70. So it only costs 5 spirit, and as you guys can see, I can pretty much use this and hold this visibility goes at like 6 seconds. I can pretty much use this all the time without losing spirit, and this is pretty good if you have 3 stacks of it and there are no monsters nearby and you want to keep it up. So just don't cost you 75 spirit is half of my spirit bar, and so this now only costs 5, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and the other pretty important thing, of course, is crit. As you can see, I have around 50% crit, and that's pretty nice because this stacks with crit and also spawns with tornadoes, and yeah, dealing a lot of damage with it. Crit hit damage also really important because every time you crit, it's not like in WoW where it only does like around 100% more damage. You can actually affect the amount of damage your crit deals with this, and every time I crit, I do 3 times more damage, 3 times and a little bit more damage. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. Also, one of the really important stats I'm focused around is lifesteal. So you guys can see I have lifesteal on both of my weapons. Some people prefer to just have it on a second hand, but I prefer to have a little bit more lifesteal. Every damage dealt is converted into life. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty much my primary health gain throughout the fight, and yeah, that's pretty much what keeps me rolling. And I love having more. I've sacrificed a little bit of damage for having more lifesteal, so I know more damage will mean I heal more with like this, but around 6% is pretty nice. You will survive most of your encounters. I have pretty low damage right now, but I still heal a lot, and that's pretty much worth it. So yeah, that's about the gear, and now let's talk to Lear in the Slaughtered Calf Inn. And I also wanted to talk to you about... Oh, I should probably not skip this conversations anymore. I also want to talk about something why I wasn't making videos all the time, but I will just get the story on the way.
The dead will overwhelm us all unless something is done.
I will send them back to their graves. I will save your town.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do with it.
There we go. Speak to Captain Rumford, and I think, yeah, I already picked this up. Let's see, New Tristram. Let's talk to Captain Rumford, and once I'm about killing things, I will explain you why I haven't made some videos.
I will help you fight the risen dead.
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
That will not be my fate.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors. They're attacking the barricade!
So, okay, why I wasn't making any videos. Honestly, I'm having a lot of health problems, mental health problems. I'm depressive. That doesn't mean I'm like an emo or something, even though I pretty much look like an emo. But yeah, I I'm just